Hello everyone. In previous class I have already discussed about definition of Parkinson's disease, epidemiology of Parkinson's disease and clinical findings of Parkinson's disease. Today I am going to discuss with you pathology and pathogenesis of Parkinson's disease and management of Parkinson's disease. There are two pathological features that are characteristics of the brain in Parkinson's disease. First one is the substantia nigra shows neuronal loss. Surviving neurons show deep pigmentation and there may be extracellular pigment. And second one is the substantia nigra neurons also show characteristics inclusions called Lewy bodies. These are eosinophilic, rounded, and occur in the cytoplasm. Typically one per cell and surrounded by a clear area or halo. They are made up of neurofilaments and a protein called ubiquitin, whose function is to help remove degenerating intracellular components. Associated with the loss of nigral neurons, there is a degeneration of the dopaminergic nigrostriatal pathway and hence a deficiency of dopamine in the putamen. Genetic susceptibility as well as environmental factors probably play a role in the development of Parkinson's disease. A substance that is called MPTP, that is methylphenyl tetrahydropyridine, a pethidine analog used by heroin addict, resulted in a cluster of younger onset Parkinson's disease. Giving this substance to monkeys induce a Parkinsonian syndrome in them, and the toxicity of the substance is reduced by drug which inhibit the enzyme monoamine oxidase type B. MPTP is rare and cannot account for most cases of Parkinson's disease, but has given us insight into the pathogenesis of the disease. Now, management or treatment of Parkinson's disease. Parkinson's disease is one of the few neurological diseases for which remarkably effective treatments are available. We are just beginning to explore ways of slowing down the underlying disease process, but we do have a drug that produces an almost miraculous improvement in symptoms in over 85% of patients. And the drug is levodopa. You know about it? A precursor of dopamine. Unfortunately, the drug become less effective with progression of the underlying disease. There are two kind of management of the Parkinson's disease. First one is the altering the course of the disease. Means a drug called salicyline or deprenyl which is an inhibitor of the enzyme monoamine oxidase type B, may be effective in slowing the rate of disease progression. Since deprenyl also provides some symptomatic improvement by reducing useful drug for very early Parkinson's disease at a dose of 5 mg given once daily or twice daily at 8 am and 2 pm. A late evening dose may cause insomnia. As you all know about the modern drugs, every drugs have their side effect. So this drug deprenyl causes insomnia if we are giving in late evening time. Second one management is symptomatic management or symptomatic treatment. When the patient is distressed or disabled by his symptoms, for example, if it attack if it affects work, it is time to start levodopa. Dopamine is a substance known to be reduced in the brain of patients with Parkinson's disease. Dopamine administered orally will not, however, enter the brain. Hence, the precursor levodopa, a neutral amino acid, is administered. It is absorbed in the small intestine, readily crosses the blood-brain barrier, and is converted by an endogenous enzyme, dopa decarboxylase, to active dopamine. When this conversion occurs outside the brain, there are side effects of nausea, vomiting, and hypotension, and less drug left to enter the brain. Hence, levodopa administered along with an inhibitor of the dopa decarboxylase enzyme, which will act systemically but will not cross the blood-brain barrier to inhibit dopa decarboxylase in the brain. The enzyme inhibitor used is carbidopa. There are two combinations of levodopa and carbidopa are available in a dose of 100 mg and 25 mg combinations, and a 250 mg and 25 mg combinations. The former is useful in the early stages when patients requires a smaller doses. Later, the dose 250 and 25 combination is more economical. Doses required vary from 200 to 1250 mg of levodopa daily, and the principles of using levodopa carbidopa are as number 1, to start at a low dose and increase gradually as the side effects of nausea and vomiting improve with time. To use the lowest dose that provides adequate relief of symptoms. And to adjust the timing of the doses based on the patient's symptoms. The maximal effect is seen half to 1 hour after a dose, and the effect lasts for 3 to 4 hours and sometimes longer. Sustained release preparations are more expensive but may be used for special situations. Thus, a patient with severe bradykinesia on awakening may benefit from a sustained release pill given at night. Side effects of levodopa include hypotension, cardiac arrhythmias, dyspepsia, and hallucinations. Giving the drug with the meal may reduce dyspepsia but may also make absorption more erratic. An antiemetic such as metoclopramide can reduce the effect of or efficacy of levodopa. Levodopa is effective in relieving bradykinesia and rigidity, but less effective in reducing tremor. Here, this point is very important. Levodopa is effective in relieving bradykinesia and rigidity, but less effective in reducing tremor. A variety of anticholinergic agents are available to treat the tremors of Parkinson's disease, and this will also reduce the excessive salivation. A commonly used agent is trihexyphenidyl, amantadine at a dosage of 100 mg BD may be useful in mild Parkinson's disease. Another drug is amantadine at the dose of 100 mg BD. So you can prescribe or you can give levodopa with amantadine, and dose of levodopa should be gradually increased to 200 to 1250 mg of in daily dose, whereas the dose of amantadine should be 100 mg BD. Relieving both tremors and bradykinesia, side effects are pedal edema and a mottled rash over the seams called libido reticularis. There is another type of Parkinson's disease, that is late stage Parkinson's disease. In 5 to 8 years, most patients start showing a diminished benefit from levodopa and show troublesome side effects as well as new symptoms not responsive to therapy. And the side effects include involuntary movements, that is dyskinesias, and involuntary sustained posturing, dystonia. The duration of benefit from each dose shrinks to 1 to 2 hours, and unpredictable attacks of freezing may occur. Dysarthria and dysphagia may occur if frequent. A small dose of levodopa do not improve matter. Alternatives such as dopamine agonist bromocriptine with the dose of 1.25 to 2.5 milligram BD and pergolide 0.05 mg/bd, which directly activate the dopaminergic receptors, should be tried. Two previously used surgical approaches, thalamotomy for tremors and pallidotomy for bradykinesia, are rare use these days. Surgical transplantation of the patient's own adrenal medulla, a source of dopamine, or fetal substantia nigra is being investigated as a therapeutic options. In Ayurveda, this disease should be managed similar to the management of Vata Vyadhi. So all the drugs uh, which we used to treat the Vatic disorders or a Vata Vyadhi may be given to a patient of Parkinson's disease. So this is all about the Parkinson's disease. In next class, we will discuss some another kind of disorder system, deformities of the another system. Thank you. Take care.